right, well, hello and welcome back. So, if you saw my last video about reupholstering my chairs, I did the first chair and got all of them done, and then realized that my captain's chairs, the ones with the armrests, yeah, those cushions are actually a completely different size and a completely different shape. So, yeah. So I thought I would just show the process from start to finish. So I took this cushion off, and I don't like that there's this hole in the middle of the wood. It just doesn't make sense because you can feel it when you sit down. So that's why I decided to just do a whole new cushion with new wood and everything. Now, I'm really doing my best here to take these staples out, but these chairs are so old and the staples keep breaking, like I show you here. That's like half of a staple. I have this little tool that's supposed to take out the heavy duty staples, and they continued to break. This was the first one that I actually got out that was complete. So I was excited about that. But yeah, it was so frustrating. So, I just decided to cut into the cushion itself because I'm going to end up throwing the whole thing away anyway. And what I need is the actual wooden base so that I can make a stencil. Because I'm cutting a whole new piece of wood because I don't want to use the old one because I don't like that hole. But this old batting and the old cushion, it was just so, it was so gross. But yeah, they had this weird net stuff. It's like, why would you want a hole in the middle of your seat cushion? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense in my brain. So, yeah, I'm just throwing the whole thing away, and I ended up just cutting everything off around the edges so that I could get to the wooden part to make a stencil out of it, because that's all I needed this piece for. Look at those staples. Oh my gosh, there's just so many. If you have a good base that's in good condition, you can definitely use the existing wood from your chair if you're just wanting to reupholster the top, and if your cushions don't have these, holes in the middle. But there's my piece of foam board from the dollar store. It makes a great stencil. And because, it's not paper, it doesn't tear, it doesn't fly away, and yeah. So I'm just cutting it out, and here comes my little helper. This is my youngest, and she was so excited to come and talk to me, and those baby smiles, they're just so sweet. And she wanted to help me so bad, and she just thought this was so funny, and she's laughing at me and smiling, and anyways. And then here she wants to play peekaboo with you guys. So let's just appreciate that for a second. She even peeked to see if y'all were looking. Are they looking? No? Oh, okay. All right, well, there's my stencil. So now here we go. Now I have these sawhorses. They were my husband's grandfather's, and it was the day of dropping things. So yeah, there it goes. And just, okay, but it's fine. So, they're basically homemade sawhorses with just these little brackets, I guess, that you put two 2x4s into, and then screw them to keep them in the right place. So here I come with my new sheet of plywood. It's a quarter sheet. And there we go. Dropped the measuring tape. So yeah, just so we can appreciate that moment together. But measure twice, cut once. Sometimes I measure 6 or 7 times because, once you cut it, you're done. But this is a quarter sheet of plywood that's already pre-sanded. I got it from Home Depot, and it was $25, maybe $27. I'm actually doing 2 chairs. I have 2 captain's chairs. I have 4 regular chairs, 2 captain's chairs. So, a quarter sheet would do 2. And, I had already cut out the other 2 because I foolishly assumed that they would all 6 be the same, and they weren't. So I ended up having to get another quarter sheet to finish these chairs. So here I go cutting, and that's my middle. And he's like, is there any way I can help? And I'm like, sure, but you cannot use my jigsaw because just, no, not a good plan. So I go and I tell him, oh, my glasses are protecting my eyes. That's why I'm not wearing the eye protection. And now, you know, here I go rubbing my eyes with my shirt because my glasses, you know, like my eyeglasses did not in fact protect my eyes from the sawdust. So he comes back. I tell him that he can do the sanding if he wants to. He decides he wants to do that. So we go to find him a pair of safety glasses. And he comes back, and y'all, being a parent will test your patience more than anything else in this life. I love all three of my children dearly. They are the light of my life. They are the joy that fills my universe. But if you thought that you were a patient person before, just wait until you have children. It's a level of patience that I didn't know I could possibly possess, because I am not the most patient person on the best of days. But being a parent has really, really taught me to have some patience. So we got all that sanded, and I go to work on the second one. I don't think I end up showing you both of them because I was just doing the one for the video, but I'm like, hey, are you gonna sand this one? And he's like, nah, pass. I did my deed. I did my helping. I'm fine now, thanks. So, but we get them all sanded down, all cut down, and then I wipe all the dust off with like a damp washcloth. And here is my brand new piece of wood that's nice and sanded and smooth and all the things. Now, I have severe ADHD, and I'm, you know, so sick of hearing people that talk about they have ADHD when they really don't, or it's just, you know, the new fad or whatever, but, you know, I actually do. So I do my best to clean up like as I do it, and just do it, because, you know, the next thing you know, it's been 4 days and nothing's cleaned up, and y'all, I got these Rapid things for my, oh my gosh, how cool is that? And then they don't like all fall off, and I can hang them, and yeah, that's called Rapid, and just so cool. They have different sizes and all the things. Okay, so here we go, cutting into the foam. Now, if you watched my last video, you saw me doing it with a bread knife, right? And I had a couple of people that are like, do you have an electric knife? Well, yes, I have an electric knife. Are there people that are still cutting turkeys with a regular, like, kitchen knife? Anyway, so I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'll try anything once. So here I go. Y'all, this cut through like butter. And if you saw the last video, I had all of these like messy pieces, and there were like little pieces of foam everywhere, and it was awful. But this okay, so if you're going to be cutting this foam, and like I said before, I used 3-inch foam because I wanted the chairs to have a little more padding, to be a little taller, but electric knife all the way, hands down. If you're any kind of cooker, this is literally the electric knife that I used to cut my turkey for the holidays, and yeah, it was just it was perfect. So much less of a mess, so much more accurate cuts, and I didn't have pieces everywhere. All right, so now we're gonna go in with our batting, and y'all, I had literally just enough batting to do these 2 pieces, that I didn't have to buy another one from when I did it the first time. That was the wrong size. So I go in and I do a staple in the middle of each side so that it's even, and then I go through and put probably 3 or 4 staples on each side, but since the chairs had that little cutout where the arms of the chair go, then I had to put a few extras. So I do put the staples probably about 1 inch inward because I want the fabric to cover. So I'm actually going to put the staples for the fabric in further than that so that the fabric completely covers the batting. And then I do a dust cover so that way the edge doesn't have a bunch of staples so that I can staple the dust cover on. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a staple in the middle and then just kind of start from the middle and go outwards and just kind of fill in the gaps. And I am stapling right inside of the batting so that the cloth is covered by the batting. Okay, now I end up getting really frustrated here because I couldn't figure out how to make this corner pleat the way I wanted it to. So here in a couple minutes, I actually end up redoing this whole corner because I'm just so frustrated with it and it wouldn't do what I wanted to do. So I get this one folded and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to fold the corner in first and then pleat each side. Oh yeah. So, and then again, my staple, maybe I need longer staples. I don't know. But so I cut off a section there so that I could get the staple gun to staple through all of the layers and actually into the wood. So see, there I go, undoing this corner because it just didn't do what I wanted it to do. And I guess I realized a better way, even though at this point, this is the 5th chair that I have done. So you'd think I'd have it down by now, but you know, it would not cooperate. But yeah, I feel like if I was going to do this again, I would go with longer staples so that I could staple through all the layers of the batting and the material and then make sure it really gets a good hold into the wood, just so I wouldn't have this issue. And then again, my chairs have those little cutouts where the arms of the captain's chairs go. So I ended up putting more staples in this one than my other one, if you watched my other video, because I had to make sure the fabric like pulled tight around those weird cutouts and the weird corners, and yeah. So I cut off all the excess as I go. Again, you can stop right here if you want, and use the cushion just like that. But I really like the dust cover. It's pretty, it's cheap. I think it was like $5 or $6 for way too much. You only need the size of the cushion, and then I just fold it under to give it a polished look. And then I'm stapling right around the edge. However, I was not able to staple right on the corners because again, there was just so much between the batting and the cloth that I was using that my staple wouldn't go all the way through. So I get just as close to the corner as I can get, that it will still go through all of the layers and grab the wood, and figure that's going to be good enough. It's going to have to be. So there's the cushion, and now here we go. We're going to put it back on the base, and we're going to screw it in and make sure it's sitting in the right place. I had to kind of hold it from the bottom to make the screw go through the wood the way it was supposed to, but there we go. It's all finished. I hope you guys enjoy.